Welcome to this virtual competition between the Temple Owls and the Texas Armadillos. Really excited tonight to bring you this competition. I am Amanda Stroud, and I am here with my technical genius who runs Sweet Streams Live, Zach Gagnon. This is a matchup between two GymACT teams. If you don't know much about GymACT yet, it is a league that is growing collegiate men's gymnastics. We are really excited to have these two teams get to match up together. You can see the Temple and the Texas teams here, along with their head coaches. So to introduce the Temple Owls, we have Alexander Skalklos, Ben Hijort, Brandon Baskin, Eden Dubnikov, Jacob Billner, Jared Holmes, Jason Wenzel, Joshua Moore, Max Panzera, Nate Davies, Stephen Rathbone, Thomas Tafe, and Zachary Raymond. Their head coach is Jesse Kitson Abelson. And for the Texas Armadillos, we have Dallas Hale, Dylan McConkey, Kelly North, Carlos Ojeda, Sergey Popov, Braden Priest, and their head coach is Tom Meadows. But the Texas Armadillos are actually a united team, and they train in many locations. So we want to shout out to the rest of the coaches that help with them as well. We see get some of them warming up, getting ready here. This is a shot of the Temple Gymnasium in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And the Armadillos will be coming to you from different gyms around Texas, including Thornton's Gymnastics in Lake City and Cypress Gymnastics in Cypress, Texas. All right, looks like we're ready to start. Everybody's ready to go. We are going to start on floor exercise. For each event, Temple will go first. They have 5 men competing, and Texas will go in between them. So first up on floor, Eden Dubnikov. It's not your favorite way to start. 2.5 twist. Double tuck. Now we'll do a side pass. And some non-acro work on the floor here. Press to handstand. Gotta hold that for 2 seconds to do it without deduction. Stick the layout. GymACT is just a little bit different than senior FIG rules. Oh, and a double full stick. Gets bonus for that. So they get bonus for sticking, and they also only count 8 skills. So these scores will be for 8 skills counting. Eden went 11-8 on that floor routine, and now this is Braden Priest for the Texas Armadillos. Mount with the double front there. Ooh.
Yo.
Front leg was a little high, made his front full a little bit low. Two and a half twist. Braden's probably getting a little bit deducted on standing in these corners for too long. Floor routine should flow without any major stops or pauses. Front 1.5 twist. Men's floor routines are supposed to be comprised of front tumbling skills and back tumbling skills and non-acro elements. So you'll see each of these gymnasts do something that is non-acro. So they'll press or they'll flare, and that gets them 5/10 in element group points. And double full. Good job, Brayden. We're going to go next back to Temple, where we have Max Pizzera on floor. Brayden's score was an 11.0. Triple full mount. Ooh, front double full. Max can twist. And he can flip. The men have kind of a neutral rule about having a double salto pass, so you'll see most everybody get that so that they don't have a deduction. There's this non-acro we talked about. That hold looked a little short to me. It's supposed to be held for 2 seconds. 2.5 twist, using all the twisting here. And a double full, and he gets stick bonus.
Dylan McConkey, Texas Armadillos.
This is Dylan McConkey for the Texas Armadillos. Max went 12-1-5. It's a great score. Dylan's unfortunately going to start his floor routine with a fall. So those step deductions, if it's less than the width of the athlete's shoulders, it's only 1/10, but if it's a big step like that one was, they get a 3/10 deduction for that. And there's Dylan's press. Good job of holding that for 2 seconds. Dylan's a little amped up here, bouncing out of stuff. And a front bolus is dismount. The 10-4-5 for Dylan. Now back to Temple. We have Nate Davies. Going to start off with his double flipping skill. Oh, and another one forward. Double back, then double front. Also going to show us that he can twist. And that is Nate's non-acro, one of them. Straddle planche, press to handstand. Both of those parts should be held 2 seconds. Front with a 1.5 for a side pass. And a little hop on the dismount there. No stick bonus for Nate. This is Kelly North for the Texas Armadillos. Nate Davies' score, 12-4-5. Oh, good start for Kelly. Double back with a full twist there. 2.5 front layout. The men get connection bonus for connections like that back 2.5 front layout. It's Kelly's press. Back 1.5, front tuck full. And triple full for dismount. Very nice. Back to Philadelphia. We have Zach Raymond. Kelly's floor score was a 12.75. Zach starts out with a tuck double back. Back 2.5. The biggest deductions on floor are these landings where you see the guys taking the big hops to the big steps. They're losing 0.3 every time they do that. And that's where their E-score can go down really quickly because they have a lot of them. Split hold. And a V hold. And a press. The judges are going to take his 8 highest rated skills. So they may or may not use the A split hold. Double full dismount. A little step on that one.
Armadillos, Sergey Popov.
And back to Texas. Here's Sergey Popov. Ooh, front full double front. A little low on the landing, but he gets connection bonus for that. Back 2.5 front layout. Not nailing those landings, though. Arabian double front. Landing was better. Little hesitation on the press there, but he got the hold. And triple full dismount. That's a big floor routine. Back to Temple, we have Jacob Biller. I'm going to start with a front double full. Sergey's floor score was a 12.4. And a tuck double back. Front full, front half, and a bounce. This is an interesting quarter turning belly flop. And got his hold on his press. Front full, big hop there. Very nice. So after floor, our team scores are Temple Owls 50.55 and Texas Armadillos 46.6. And we are moving on to the pommel horse. Again, Temple has 5 competitors, so they will start. And the Armadillos will go in between. We're going to start with Ben Hijort. Here we are in Philadelphia for Ben's pommel horse set. Start off with some scissors. Just like floor, pommel horse has element groups that the guys have to hit. Scissors are one of them. Circles. They need to travel, and they need to dismount. Get that dismount going. Oh, and He got an upgrade on his dismount for turn and travel. And now we're moving to Braden Priest in Texas. Got Russian. Oh. Leg separation there. Scissors are judged on amplitude, so you want leg swings above the shoulders, actually. Oh, we had a fall. That was the quickest pommel horse fall I've ever seen. Oh, and I don't think we're going to get credit for that dismount because that is supposed to swing to handstand, not sit on the horse and then decide. Ben Hijort with an 11.55 and Braden Priest with a 9.25. This is Jason Wenzel for the Temple Owls. And he makes it all the way through. Good job, Jason.
Dylan McConkey, Texas
11.7 for Jason. And now we're in Texas. Dylan McConkey starts with some scissor work. And then circles. Half turn is called a sheker. And a travel. And circle to handstand. With a travel. Made it all the way through. Dylan with a 10.5. This is Nate Davies. Nate's got better scissor amplitude than some of the routines we've seen so far. The judges are looking for a straight line and good tempo throughout this. So if they see any kind of hiking or flexed feet, they'll take deductions for that. And Nate with a circle to handstand dismount.
Texas Armadillos.
That routine went 11.25. In Cypress, Texas, this is Kelly North. Start with a scissor. Oh. If they start those flop sequences and fall during them, they don't get credit for anything. So that's kind of a harsh rule. When they fall, they have 30 seconds to remount the apparatus. Kelly's well within his 30 seconds here.
Push. Push. Come on.
Variety of half turn elements and another fall. Pommel horse is one of those events where you kind of got to get in your rhythm or the routine can become a disaster very quickly. Hopefully Kelly can finish strong for us here. And a circle to handstand with the travel for his dismount. Kelly North goes 9.7. Back in Philadelphia, this is Blake Hazel. Some good amplitude on his scissors. Sometimes you see those form breaks because they're trying to save without falling, and that can make them break form. Obviously, breaking form is better than falling. Circle to handstand dismount for Blake.
Texas Armadillos.
And he
Sergey
scores
Popov.
an 11.9 in Texas. This is Sergey Popov. Starting with the scissor work. It's really common to do that scissor work first because you don't have to break back out of the circles to do it in the middle. Although some gymnasts do it in the middle. And Sergey's got a Magyar there and a Savato. So, Russians are not supposed to be flared. And circle to handstand with, on the wrong side of the horse. That'll be devalued. Oh, looks like he's going to do it again. Pommel horse is the only event where you can repeat a dismount if you think you didn't get credit for it. So he's going to try this dismount again with a travel and still no turn on that. Sergey goes 10.5 on his pommel horse routine. And to anchor the Temple Owls is Stephen Rathbone. Steven's starting with his circles, so we'll have to see. We'll have to see where his flares are in the middle of here. He's got 30 seconds where he can consult with his coach and decide whether or not he got credit for the last skill he did. Doing travels across the whole horse and some spindle work. Now we'll see his scissors in the middle here. Check here. And a Stockley to handstand dismount. Good finish. So after pommel horse, we're looking at the Temple Owls with a team score of 96.95 and the Texas Armadillos with a team score of 86.55. You can see the final pommel horse scores there on the right. Even though Temple has one extra gymnast competing, each team is only counting 4 scores, so Temple just gets to throw out their lowest score. And as the Armadillos get more gymnasts, I'm sure that they will be able to field a full 5 in the future. Now we're on to rings in Philadelphia. This is Max Pizzera. Rings is all about the holds. So we're going to see some strength elements like this cross. We want to see him hold that for 2 seconds without moving. Same with this L. He's going to hold before he presses. Want to hold this handstand. And that handstand. Ideally, rings is done without the ring swinging at all. That's why it's called still rings. And a dismount. Oh, little step there. Max scored an 11.85 on that routine. And in Texas, this is Braden Priest. Get to L. And a back giant to handstand. He had a little trouble holding that. Little body position. Starting to swing just a little bit. Ideally, all of these skills are done with straight arms, straight body position. Rings, as most people know, is all about strength. There are some swing elements in rings, but the most valuable elements are strength. Dismount with a little step there. 10.85 for Braden. And for Temple, this is Josh Moore. Sometimes the Maltesers get credit for planche, and sometimes the planches get credit for Maltese. Not as often, but those straight body strength elements are very, very difficult. He's got 30 seconds to remount the rings. The athletes are required what's called a swing to handstand. So that's what he just fell on there, is attempting that swing to handstand. He's going to remount. I would think that the judges didn't award that giant that he fell on because he didn't really finish it before the fall. So we'll see if he does that again. Right here. He does. This time he is successful. And across. Ready for the dismount, a double back with a small hop. Score for Josh was an 11-1-5. Dylan McConkey for the Armadillos. A little short on that hold. 2 seconds feels like a really long time in some of those positions. Got to hold even those L holds. He's fighting here because he's swinging a little bit, and that makes these elements harder when they swing. Oh, and a full twisting double back for dismount. Good finish, Dylan. 10.9 for Dylan. This is Alex Skalkos for Temple. Front uprise to L. We're rushing some of our 2-second holds, I think. Oh, and a front giant. That was nicely done. Some of the swing work, Yamawaki and Giannisson. Even when they do the skills that swing like that, we don't want to see the ring swing back and forth. Oh, and a double full dismount. That's interesting. Don't see that very often. Little step. That's a good job. Alex goes 12-5-5 on that routine. And we move to Kelly North. Kip to L. The element groups for rings are a little different. They're swing and strength. And then the third one is swing to strength. So something like the front uprise to L or the kip to L is fulfilling that swing to strength. And a dismount, full twisting double back. And Kelly gets a stick. Very nice. For Temple, this is Stephen Rathbone. Kelly's routine scored 12.2. Back up rise straddle planche. That is a swing to strength. Giannisson and Yamawaki. Nope, starting to swing a little bit. This press is hard when you're swinging back and forth like that. Managed to stop the swing a little bit on that giant. And full twisting double back. Good routine.
Texas Armadillos, Sergey Popov.
11.8 for Steven. This is Sergey for Texas. The Armadillos just chose their lineup and then kept it the same on each event. There's his kip to L. Swing work. Giannis Yamawaki. That may look like rest, but holding that L is not that easy, and that press is definitely not that easy. There's this giant from the handstand. And full twisting double back. Sergey scores a 13.1. That's a good score. Here is Nate Davies for the Temple Owls on rings. Back up rise to planche. And it's a good straight arm press for Nate. And a front giant. And a back giant. Double tuck for dismount, small step. Very nice. And the standings after rings are the Temple Owls have a 145.9 and the Texas Armadillos have a 133.6. On your right-hand side there, you can see all of the final ring scores. You have some 12s and even a 13 in there. Those are some pretty good ring routines. The next event will be vault, and we'll start with Jason Wenzel from the Temple Owls. Jason does a layout Kazamatsu, an unfortunate fall. Scored a 12.3. This is Braden Priest for the Texas Armadillos. Also, well, my tuck Kazamatsu probably is what they would have awarded that. 11.55 for Braden. Now, Eden Dubnikov for Temple. Layout Kazamatsu. That's a good vault.
Bill McConkey, Texas Armadillos.
13.25. Second vaulter for Texas is Dylan McConkey. Layout Kazamatsu. And the step. Pretty good. 13.3 for Dylan. This is Brandon Baskin. Also layout Kazamatsu. That one was a little bit higher. He goes 13.3. Kelly North in Texas. No, that was a Souk double full. It's got a little landing issue, but it's a higher start value. So his score is a 13.75. In Philadelphia, this is Nate Davies. Oh. Kazamatsu with a half. That was a nice vault. 13.75. Sergey Popov. Kazamatsu with a full. Little landing issue there. 13.9 for Sergey. And Jacob Biller is the anchor for Temple. Anchor for Temple on vault. And he does a Yurchenko entry. 1.5. Yurchenko entries tend to be cleaner than the Souk entries. 13.65 for that vault. And after vault, we have the Temple Owls with a 199.85 and the Texas Armadillos with a 186.1 going into parallel bars. As usual, we're going to start with Temple. Max Pizzera leads us off. Going to start with a basket to support. and a moi. You want to watch out for little hand adjustments, as those are deductions on parallel bars. And a double tuck dismount. Big step forward. Max goes 12.0. That's a great score. This is Braden Priest. Braden's going to start with a kip. On parallel bars, we're looking for elements in support, elements in upper arm, and elements in hang. There's a tapelt, but it looked like he landed on his legs. My guess is the judges are not going to give that credit. It's a hard skill. There's his upper arm skill. He came off of his upper arms to front uprise. He's going to moi. Ideally, that you don't want to hit your feet on the mat when you swing through the bottom. So, basket to support. That's a long handstand. There's no deduction for a long handstand, only for short ones. And double pike dismount. Braden scored a 10.2. Stephen Rathbone. Zip to pelt for Stephen. There's his upper arm skills, a front uprise. And a double tuck dismount. Very good.
Dylan McConkey, Texas Armadillos.
Score for Stephen is a 12.3. For the Armadillos, here's Dylan. No, a little struggle there on that handstand. Basket to support. Got to hold that L for 2. And a front full dismount. Very good. Dylan's score was an 11.45. And now for Temple, this is Zachary Raymond. The camera's a little shaky there. It's a unique mount. Tiamadov. Preferably with the legs together. And a stutz. Those are pretty common support skills. And a basket. Double tuck dismount. Oh. Didn't quite have enough on that. Oh.
Kelly North.
Not allowed to repeat your dismount there, Zach. His score is an 11.25. This is Kelly North for Texas. Diamondov, not as controlled probably as it could have been. And a stutz. The basket to support is a really popular B now. That's new this quadrennium, that doesn't have to go to handstand. Double tuck dismount. Step forward. Kelly's score is an 11.75. This is Alex Skalkos for Temple Owls. And he's going to do his basket to handstand. Ideally, all of these skills should end in a controlled handstand, but don't necessarily need to be held like rings does. They do get a deduction if the handstand is short or if it's not controlled. Got a little 1 foot thing going on there. And a front full dismount. Step backwards.
Sergey Popov.
Score for Alex is an 11.7. In Texas, this is Sergey Popov. And he mounts with an uprise to front pike, and that gets his upper arms group. There's a Tapel. And a Diamondov. Oh, and a double front dismount with a stick. That's worth a lot of tenths and stick bonus there. Sergey with a 13.35. That was a good set. Now for Temple, this is Jacob Biller. It was a Healy. Jacob's controlling his handstands a little better than some of the other routines we've seen. And a double tuck. Small step. That was clean. Score for Jacob Biller is a 12.6. And after parallel bars, our team standings are the Temple Owls are still leading with a 2:48.45. And the Texas Armadillos at 2:32.85. Going into our final event, which is high bar. I'm going to start with Eden Dubnikov for Temple. I think high bar is a fun one to watch because you can see when they release and catch. Right there, the Milwaukee. Oh, and a little trouble on that kip cast. Oh, looked like he was trying to do a Weiler. Only got about halfway through it. So the judges won't give that credit. Oh, try it again. That one went over the bar. So ideally, those in-bar skills start from a handstand and they end in a handstand. Now, a free hip in the middle of there, that's kind of hard to do. And I'm going to bet the judges went double pike with that dismount. Looks like he was attempting a double layout. 9.3 for Eden. This is Braden Priest for the Armadillos. Here's a Veronin. That kip cast did not go to handstand, so he'll get a deduction for that. But he ended that with a Stalder, which was pretty good. Ideally, we would have our legs together on some of this. There's no flares on high bar. Dylan trains at San Antonio Gymnastics Academy with his coach, Bruce. The double tuck dismount. Probably not Braden's best high bar set for a 9.15. Back in Philadelphia, this is Blake Hazel. The gymnast can either be lifted to the high bar or they can jump themselves. They have some leeway to get situated there before they start. Oh, and Blake does a Jaeger. He didn't catch it, but that's a cool skill. A front flip to recatch the bar. It can be done in a straddle or a pike or a layout, and a lot of men even twist that skill, which is very difficult. He's got 30 seconds to remount the bar. He won't get credit for his flight skill, so if that's his only flight skill, he may opt to try it again. That's risky. Sometimes they try him again and sometimes they don't. They just take the deduction for not having a flight skill. He gets a couple of swings to remount. And Kip needs to go over the bar. An endo. And a stalder. And we'll get ready for our dismount here. And a double tuck. Good landing on that. Blake scores a 10.0. This is Dylan McConkey. Free hip to start for Dylan. So the element groups that we're looking for on high bar are long swings and flight elements and in-bar elements, which are like the free hip and the endo and the stalter that we've seen. Dylan did not have a flight element, so his start value, his D score will reflect that. His final score is an 11.05. This is Alex Skalkos for Temple. Alex starts off with a Veronin. That is a flight skill. And then endo for an in-bar skill. All of these giants count as long skills, but things like that full to mix are slightly higher value long hang skill. And a flying giant. And a double tuck with a full twist. It's a good landing on that. Alex scores an 11.8. We're back in Texas with Kelly North. Kelly joined the Armadillos this season. He's training at Cypress Academy. And his flight skill, which I think is a stretch to Tkachev, but he had a lot of different bends in that. And a straddle to Tkachev. A free hip and a flying giant for a B. The free hip gets his in-bar. Dismount is a full twisting double layout. Big step there. 12-1 for Kelly on high bar. For the Temple Owls, this is Zach Raymond. Ooh. Zach starts off there, a little bit of a form break. Straddle to Tkachev. I'm going to get an endo in there. Oh, a little struggle on the way up on that endo. And a stalder. And a full twisting double back for a stick. He gets stick bonus. Be reflected in his score. 11.8. The anchor for the Armadillos on high bar is Sergei Popov. And stretch to Tkachev there. Kind of a pikey stretch to Tkachev. There is a straddle Tkachev. The Tkachevs are pretty popular. Oh, there's an in-bar stalder. It was an in-bar Indo, which is done in a pike instead of a straddle. Can take a lot of flexibility. And a full twisting double layout for Sergey. He scores a 12-1-5. Finally, on high bar for Temple, this is Jacob Biller. Ideally, all of the turning skills should be done in handstand. That uprise half was pretty good for Jacob. There's his flight skill is a Tkachev in a straddle. Put his re-hip and his flying giant in there. That flying giant gets a B, so it's just rated a little bit higher than a regular giant, and a full twisting double layout. The final score for this GymACT virtual competition between the Temple Owls and the Texas Armadillos is Temple with a 294.5 and the Texas Armadillos with a 277.3. The Armadillos putting up a good fight for only their second season as a GymACT team. So thanks so much for watching this GymACT matchup. I had fun commentating for you, and I hope that you enjoyed it.